This is an edition of Nigerian History on EduTV Nigeria, where we take you back to the events that had occurred in this country and up-to-date events. President Shehu Shagari was the first elected president of Nigeria and also to be toppled in a military coup. The event of the 5th military coup in Nigeria brought Major General Muhammadu Buhari to power as military head of state. 31st December 1983 was the day the coup took place in Nigeria, where Nigerians are planning to cross over to a new year. Shehu Shagari had just won the election for a second term to continue in office as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, having completed the first term, which started on October 1st, 1979. Unknown to him, he was not going to be allowed to serve a second term, while he was still celebrating his victory and preparing for swearing in. A military coup was on its way. The coup plotters had already taken their strategic positions at different places and ready to strike. Without any further delay, the military struck and removed him from power. The identity of the coup plotters, which was hitherto unknown, soon became known, starting with the announcement of Major General Muhammadu Buhari as the new head of state of Nigeria, and immediately appointed military governors to run the affairs of the country with him. Shehu Shagari was arrested and detained, so also was the vice president and the state governors. Other leading politicians were also arrested and detained by the coup plotters. His tenure was thus brought to a conclusive end, and Nigeria, a country that had already witnessed 4 military coups in less than 25 years of its independence, was taken back to full military rule. Why General Muhammadu Buhari became the head of state? Tunde Idiagbon was appointed as the chief of general staff and also the deputy head of state. Tunde Idiagbon was an alumni of the Pakistan Military Academy, where he obtained a bachelor's degree in economics. He is said to have been a no-nonsense military officer by all reasonable standards, and his name featured prominently throughout the administration of Major General Muhammadu Buhari. It has been reported that prior to the coup, tension was already escalating between the civilian government administration of Shehu Shagari and some persons in the military government. One major incident was when General Muhammadu Buhari, the commanding officer of the 3rd Division, cut off fuel and food supplies into neighboring Chad, an action caused by border disputes between Nigeria and Chad that was opposed by President Shehu Shagari. It was reported that President Shagari was unhappy that such decision was taken without the courtesy of informing the president and the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Buhari disregards orders by Shagari to avoid entering Chadian territory, and his unit pursued Chadian intruders around 50 kilometers into Chad. This incident was one of the major contributing factors to the coup, as it placed the civilian government and military on opposite sides of a highly divisive issue. Colonel Tunde Ogeha was tasked by the coup plotters to negotiate the peaceful surrender of President Shagari's Brigade of Guards Army units to pave way for an easy removal of the president. He did all he could do and was unable to reach Colonel Bello Kale, the commander of the Brigade of Guards, and engaged in a Lagos to Abuja and back seeking game, which made Kali suspicious. Brigadier Ibrahim Babangida was also given the responsibility of arresting President Shagari after Ogbeha's successful negotiation of a peaceful surrender. Unknown to Bako was the fact that no such surrender had been negotiated. He arrived at Shehu Shagari's residence. At that time, there were no mobile phones in the country, and so communication was not easy as it is today. Additionally, details of the plot had not only been leaked to President Shagari, but also to Captain Anyogo and Lieutenant Colonel Iboma of the Brigade of Guards mounted a defense of the presidential villa in anticipation of an attack. As expected, Brigadier Bako arrived at the presidential villa to arrest President Shagari, but President Shagari's guard were not pacified as expected. A firefight ensued, leading to the killing of Brigadier Bako. The reason Bako was the one chosen to arrest Shagari was the fact that Bako's father was a close friend to Shagari, and Bako was well known to Shagari. The coup plotters were of the opinion that Shagari would easily be arrested by someone whom he knew personally. Despite the killing of Brigadier Bako, the coup went on through the surviving officers, and Shagari was removed from power. Major Buhari was ushered in as a new head of state. Shagari was immediately placed on the house arrest and stripped of all paraphernalia of power. Most of his ministers were arrested. He turned for several months and made the trial in several parts of the country. One of the leading participants in the coup was Sani Abacha. He has a history of participating in every successful military coup in Nigeria. When he started getting involved in coup, he was only a lieutenant in the army in the Buhari-Shagari coup. Abacha played a prominent role. He was a person who made the first radio broadcast upon the overthrow of President Shagari. Here is a text of Abacha's broadcast, unquote. Fellow countrymen and women, I, Brigadier Sani Abacha of the Nigerian Army, address you this morning on behalf of the Nigerian Armed Forces. You are all living witnesses of the great economic predicament and the uncertainty which an inept and corrupt leadership has imposed on her beloved nation for the past 4 years. I am referring to the harsh, intolerable condition under which we are now living. Our economy has been hopelessly mismanaged. We have become a better and bigger nation. There is inadequacy of food at reasonable prices for a people who are now fed up with endless announcements of importation of foodstuffs. Health services are in shambles as our hospitals are reduced to mere consulting clinics without drugs, water, and equipment. Our educational system is deteriorating at an alarming rate. Unemployment figures, including the undergraduates, have reached embarrassing and unacceptable proportions. In some states, workers are being owed salary, arrears of 8 to 12 months, and in others, there are threats of salary cuts. Yet, our leaders revel in quandomania, corruption, and indiscipline, and continue to proliferate public appointments in complete disregard of our stark economic realities. After due consultation over these deplorable conditions, I and my colleagues in the armed forces are, in the discharge of our national role as promoters and protectors of national interest, decided to effect a change in the leadership of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and form a federal military government. This task has just been completed. The federal military government hereby decrees the suspension, the provision of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1979, relating to all the elective and appointed offices and representatives institutions, including the office of the President, state governors, federal and state executive councils, special advisors, special assistants, the establishment of the National Assembly and houses of assembly, including the formation of political parties. Accordingly, Alhaji Shehu Usman Shagari sets forth with to be the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria. All the incumbents of the above named offices shall, if they have not already done so, vacate their former official residences, surrendered all government properties in their possession, and report to the nearest police station their constituencies within 7 days. The Clerk of the National Assembly, the President of the Senate, Speaker of the House of Representatives shall within 2 weeks render account of all the properties of the National Assembly. All the political parties are banned. The bank account of FEDECO and all the political parties are frozen. All foreigners living in any part of the country are assured of their safety will be adequately protected. Henceforth, workers not on essential duties are advised to keep off the streets. All categories of workers on essential duties will, however, report that their places of work immediately with effect from today. A dusk to dawn curfew will be imposed between 7 p.m. and 6 a.m. each day until further notice. All airway flights have been suspended forthwith, and all airports, seaports, and border posts are closed. External communication have been cut. The custom and exercises, immigration, and police will maintain vigilance and ensure watertight security and the borders. The area administrators or commanders will have themselves to blame if any of the wanted people escape. Fellow countrymen and women, the changing government has been a bloodless and painstaking operation, and who do not want anyone to lose his or her life. People are warned in their own interests to be law-abiding and to give the federal military government maximum cooperation. Anyone caught disturbing public order will be summarily dealt with. For avoidance of doubt, you are forewarned that we shall not hesitate to declare martial law in any area or state of the Federation in which disturbances are called. Fellow countrymen and women and comrades at arms, I would like to assure you that the Armed Forces of Nigeria is ready to lay its life for our dear nation, but not for the present responsible leadership of the past civilian administration. You have to wait for the announcements. Those that participated in the coup were later identified. Major General Buhari, who at the time was the General Officer Commanding 3rd Armed Division, JOS. Major General Ibrahim Babangida, who was the Director of Army Staff's Duty and Plans. Brigadier Ibrahim Bako, who was the Brigadier Commander. Brigadier Sonny Abacha, who was a commander in the 9th Mechanized Brigade. Brigadier Tunde Idiagbon, who was the Army Military Secretary. Lieutenant Colonel Aliyu Mohammed, who was the Director of Military Intelligence. Lieutenant Colonel Aliyu Akilu, Lieutenant Colonel David Mark, Lieutenant Colonel Tunde Ogbeha, Major Sambo Dasuki, who is the military assistant to the Chief of Army Staff, Major Abdulmumini Aminu, Major Lawan Gwadabe, Major Mustapha Jokolo, who is the senior instructor, Basawa Barracks, Zaria, Major Abubakar Umar. About 14 hours after the first announcement, General Muhammadu Buhari took to the radio station and made his speech as a new military head of state in his words, and quote, "In pursuant of the primary objective of saving a great nation from total collapse, I, Major General Muhammadu Buhari of the Nigerian Army, have, after the due consultation among the service of the armed forces and formally invested with the authority of the head of state of the federal military government and the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It is with humility and a deep sense of responsibility that I accepted this challenge and call to national duty. As you must have heard in the previous announcements, the Constitutional Federal Republic of Nigeria 1979 has been suspended. The change became necessary in order to put an end to the serious economic predicament and crisis of confidence now afflicting our nation. Consequently, the Nigerian Armed Forces have constituted themselves into a federal military government comprising of a Supreme Military Council, a National Council of States, a Federal Military Council at the center. Fellow Nigerians who have dutifully intervened to save this nation from imminent collapse, we therefore expect all Nigerians, including those who participated directly and indirectly, bringing the nation to this present predicament, to cooperate with us. This generation of Nigerians, and indeed future generations, have no other country than Nigeria. We shall remain here and salvage it together. May God bless us all." Unquote. Buhari then went on to appoint his key men, together with some of the coup plotters, to administer the affairs of the new government. He appointed military governors for the 19 states. The names of the governors were Alison Madueke, who was appointed as military governor of Anambra State; Mohammed Sani, who was appointed as military governor of Bauchi State; Jeremiah Hussaini, who was appointed as military governor of Bende State; John Opera, who was appointed military governor of Benue State; Abubakar Waziri, who was appointed military governor of Borno State; Dan Achibong, who was appointed military governor of Cross River State; Mohammed Chega, who was appointed military governor of Gongola State; Ike Nwanchukwu, who was appointed military governor of Imo State; Usman Mwazu, who was appointed military governor of Kaduna State; Hamza Abdullahi, who was appointed military governor of Kano State; Salaudeen Latinwo, who was appointed military governor of Kwara State; Gbolahan Mudashiru, who was appointed military governor of Lagos State; David Mark, who was appointed military governor of Niger State; Oladipo Dia, who was appointed the military governor of Ogun State; Michael Bamidele, who was appointed military governor of Ondo State; Oladayo Popola, who was appointed military governor of Oyo State; Samuel Atukon, who was appointed military governor of Plateau State; Fidelis Oyakhilome, who was appointed as the military governor of Rivers State; and finally Garba Duba, who was appointed military governor of Sokoto State. It is worthy of note that Fidelis Oyakhilome, the governor of Rivers State, was the only police officer among the military governors. In an interview granted to some newspaper in 2019 by Major Mustapha Jokolo, who was the ADC to General Buhari, Jokolo noted that the first shocker to the coup plotters was the announcement of the names of the 19th governors without the names of the coup plotters. The only person that was appointed among the coup plotters was David Mark, who was made the military governor of Niger State. The other person who was given a key appointment among the coup plotters was Ahmed Abdullahi, who was appointed the Minister of Communication. These developments did not go down well with the coup plotters, who risked their lives in high expectations of immediate key appointments from Major General Muhammadu Buhari. It appears that the plan to remove Buhari from office as soon as practicable or originated from Buhari's first appointment. The country was ruled through military decrees. These include the Robbery and Firearms Special Provision Decree, which was promulgated to tackle the incidents of armed robbery at the time. The State Security Detention of Persons Decree gave power to the military to 10 individuals suspected of jeopardizing state security by causing economic diversity. Other decrees included the Civil Service Commission and Public Offenders Decree, which conducted a purge of the civil service. Other decrees were signed authorizing the detention of citizens by the military without trial. Buhari's military administration also passed Decree Number 4, Protection Against False Accusation Decree, and Section 1 of the decree prohibited the publication of any rumor or verified statements against the military government. Offending journalists and publishers were to be tried by military tribunals, whose ruling were to be final and not subject to any appeal to any court in the land. These decrees were widely criticized at home and abroad on the economic fronts. A couple of measures were taken by the military administration. State governors were prohibited from borrowing. Also, there was a 15% cut from Shagari's budget of 1983. Importation of a couple of items were banned, and in the process, several companies were able to perform optimally while others were forced to close in frustration for lack of needed raw materials. The economy continued to tighten, and the smiles on the faces of Nigerians citizens kept disappearing every day. Wikipedia captures the situation as follows, unquote. General Buhari's economic policy did not earn him the legitimacy of the masses due to the rise in inflation and the use of military might to continue to push many policies blamed on the rise in food prices. The administration also closed the borders and passed the decrees to regulate dealings in foreign exchange, which tipped penalties for violators. The administration also launched a social orientation program known as War Against Indiscipline, short WAI-C. Nigerians were made to stand online and public places such as bus stops under the watchful eyes of whip-carrying soldiers. Civil servants were reported to work late. They were humiliated and forced to frog jump. These and many more did not go down well with a lot of people, as it was considered unacceptable to treat adults in such demeaning ways. The administration thus received a lot of criticism from within, from outside the country. It has been reported that the cost of living was very high during Buhari's military administration. The republic outcries and resentment from several quarters. In August 1985, Major General Muhammadu Buhari's military administration was overthrown by group of soldiers led by General Ibrahim Babangida. It was a bloodless coup. Buhari was immediately arrested and taken to Benin in present-day Edo State, where he was kept in detention for 3 years. in a small guarded bungalow. He was given access to television that showed only 2 stations, and he was also given access to members of his family who were allowed to visit him. His day-to-day activities were heavily regulated by the military. The coup and immediate detention brought to an end the military rule of military Major General Muhammadu Buhari. He was the 5th military head of state of Nigeria. He was born on 17th December 1942. Buhari is reported to have attended primary school in Daura, his ancestral home. He also attended Katsina Middle School and Katsina Provincial Secondary School. He then enrolled in the Nigerian Army in 1962 and underwent official cadet training at Mons Official Cadet School in England. In January 1963, he was commissioned the 2nd Lieutenant and appointed platoon commander of the 2nd Infantry Battalion, Abeokuta. At the time of the making of this video, in 2023, Muhammadu Buhari is serving his 2nd term as the elected president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and his tenure will end also this year. This is the 2nd Nigerian citizen to occupy the #1 office in the land, first as a military head of state and later as a civilian president. The first person to have occupied the same office was General Olusegun Obasanjo, who is still alive at the time of the making of this video. Thank you for watching this piece of History Lane, and do remember to subscribe to this channel for regular notification. Also, don't forget to like, comment and share this video. This is EduTV Nigeria.